Well, to start off, Mr. Bowman mentioned earlier that he didn't want these speeches to be all about him, but after spending 4 close years with him, he better know it's going to be all about him. Well, when I sat down to start writing this speech, I started to think how I could cram 4 busy years into one little speech. After a few minutes of pondering, I figured it would be fitting to start my speech from the very beginning. It was 8th grade year. The exact date and time is unknown, but me and my buddy Dennis were playing video games. Dennis broke the short-term silence by asking me if I was going to that FFA banquet thing this evening. I replied and said, yeah, I think I'm going to go. He said, really? Me too. That night, when we got off the PlayStation to start getting ready for the banquet, we both said to each other, see you there. We both got to the banquet at about the same time, and we headed towards the cafeteria. As we entered the cafeteria, this big, tall man with a deep voice said, hello. We both just kind of said hi and found a seat. As the banquet started and the officers did opening ceremonies, Dennis and I looked at each other with amazed looks. We thought this was awesome. As the banquet concluded, me and Dennis went up to my uncle and asked him if the big, tall man was the teacher. He said, yeah, that's him, and you're going to love him. He's a great teacher and an even better guy. After the banquet, I was talking to my dad, telling him how I only wanted to do 4 or 5 things in the FFA, just some of the stuff that kind of looked fun. Little did I know that FFA was going to turn into the biggest part of my high school career. And that big, tall stranger with a deep voice was going to turn out to be like a father to me. Now I think that I have put a lot of time into FFA, but my time is nothing compared to what this man has done. For those of you that haven't caught on yet, this man I'm talking about is Mr. T.J. Boland. He is an ag teacher and an FFA advisor, a family man, a leader, a role model, and a loving and caring human being who wants nothing but the best for everybody. Myself and everyone who walks through his door owes credit to Mr. Boland, because I think we can all agree that we would not be what we are today if it wasn't for him. I think every kid in FFA should have an advisor like Mr. Boland, because he is truly one of a kind, and our school is more than blessed to have this man as our advisor. Mr. Boland turned South Central FFA into skip a line. Mr. Bowman turned South Central FFA from an SC. Okay, now I'm all jumbled up. Okay, here we go. Mr. Bowman turned FFA into an exceeding FFA program. He has helped us students put SCFFA on the map. From winning section events to even winning state events, everybody knows who South Central FFA is. Mr. Boland has inspired students to surpass great achievements like Dennis, as section president, and Jacob Hanks achieving his American degree, which haven't been done in South Central FFA for many years. Now I will be the first to admit that we are not the easiest to work with or get along with sometimes, and we have really tested Mr. Boland's limits, as you may be able to tell with the increase of gray hair on his head through the last 4 years. But he has said multiple times he wouldn't want it any other way, and neither would any of us sitting up here this evening. Mr. Boland, you are truly a blessing to all of us officers and FFA members. Your work and commitment is beyond repair, and I cannot imagine FFA without you. Thank you for everything you have done for me to make these past 4 years the best 4 years of my life. I hope that you continue to impact your students as much as you impacted me. And FYI, I'm going to get that haircut you wanted me to get for 2 years. Thank you.